What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about getting your hunting license in North Carolina. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you're wanting to hunt North Carolina and you are a resident, it'll cost you $35 to get a hunting and fishing license combined. This does not include big game hunting. Now, if you want to big game hunt, it's going to cost you $53, which is a sportsman's license only. And if you want both the hunting, fishing, and big game license combination, basically everything is going to cost you $69. And this is only for residents of North Carolina. So if you are a non-resident, another state, that means you cannot get this kind of license.
Liking this, not one bit.
If you want to get your lifetime license, you can do this. And if you're 12 years or older, it'll cost you $530. If you are a resident of North Carolina. Now, if you are a non-resident of North Carolina, it'll cost you $1,272.
What you talking about, Wood?
If you're under the age of 11, you can purchase this lifetime license for $371 if you're a resident or a non-resident. If you are 1 year old or younger,
just a baby,
you can purchase this license for $212, resident and non-resident. If you're between the ages of 50 and 69, you can purchase this lifetime license for $265, resident or non-resident. If you're over the age of 70, you can purchase this lifetime license for $16, resident or non-resident. Now, they do have more discounts if you're disabled, but it's a lot to go through, and your best bet is to go ahead and visit the website. I'll leave that in the description below, and it's in the screen right here in front of you. So check out that website if you want to know more about more discounts that they may have available for disabled. Now, let's say you just want a short-term license. You can purchase one for $80. It'll last for 10 days. If you're a resident of Georgia, you can purchase the same license for $60. In South Carolina, you can purchase it for $75. In Tennessee, it's $70. And if you live in Virginia, it'll cost you $110 to purchase a short-term license for only 10 days. Now, they also have an annual license you can purchase. If you live in the state of North Carolina, it'll cost you $25. And if you live out of state, it'll cost you $100 if you're a non-resident. If you live in Georgia, it'll still cost you $100. If you live in South Carolina, it'll cost you $125. If you live in Tennessee, it'll cost you $90. And if you live in Virginia, it'll cost you $110 for the same license. Now, if you just want a trapping license, it'll cost you $32 if you're a resident. And it'll cost you $133 if you're a non-resident. And you can purchase a lifetime trapping license for $300. And this is only available to residents of North Carolina. So if you're a non-resident, you cannot purchase this. So if you're wanting to go fishing, inland fishing, which is lakes and ponds and streams, it'll cost you $9 if you're a resident of North Carolina. And it'll cost you $23 if you're a non-resident of North Carolina. And this is for short-term fishing, which is about 10 days. If you want to go coastal fishing, which is obviously saltwater fishing, it'll cost you $6 if you're a resident, and it'll cost you $9 if you're a non-resident. Again, short-term fishing for $10. And if you want to go coastal fishing, which is saltwater fishing, and it's only for 10 days, short-term license, it'll cost you $6 if you're a resident and $11 if you're a non-resident. Now, if you want an annual fishing license, inland fishing, and you're a resident of North Carolina, it will cost you $16. Now, if you want an annual fishing license and you are a resident of North Carolina, it'll cost you $25. And if you're a non-resident in North Carolina, it'll cost you $45 for the annual fishing license. And if you want to go coastal fishing, it'll cost you $16 if you're a resident and $32 if you're a non-resident. And if you want to go all out, you can get a lifetime fishing license for $265. And this is only available to residents of North Carolina. Now, they do have more discounts for senior citizens and children. So please check out their website. It goes into a lot of detail, and it's not a lot that I can put in this video. Next thing we're going to talk about is residency. And to prove that you've lived here in North Carolina, you have to live here for 6 months to establish residency. unless you're able to prove permanent residency, which will only take 60 days. Now, be aware, you can't claim residency here and in another state, regardless of bills and taxes, things like that. So in other words, you can't own a house here and own a house in California and try and say you live here when you technically live in California because you own a house here and you rent it out.
What?
Now, if you're a student out of state and you're living in North Carolina, you can claim residency and you can get your license. Just show your proof of student ID. That goes for colleges, community colleges, and universities. If you are military and you are stationed here in North Carolina, you are considered a resident, you and your family. Now, if you are a resident of North Carolina and you are in the military and you are at another station, you can claim residency here to claim short-term license when you're hunting, fishing, or trapping. So if you're in the military and you are stationed here, you can claim residency here, you and your family. Now, if you are military and you live in North Carolina and you are stationed outside of North Carolina, you can still claim residency here for short-term license for hunting, fishing, and trapping. And the last one is a non-resident. So that means you do not live in North Carolina. You cannot claim residency here except for the exemptions I just mentioned. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is when you do not have to get your license. So if you are a landowner or you are renting some land and you want to hunt, fish, or trap on this land, you do not have to get a license. Now, be aware, this law only applies if you're using it primarily for cultivation. And this exemption also applies to your family and dependents who are living with you under the age of 18. Now, you're also exempt from getting a license if you're a resident of this state who's a member of the military serving outside of North Carolina. And you have to serve outside of North Carolina in a full-time state of reserve component of the military. This means you do not have to get a license for 30 days or less, but you should carry your credentials if you're still hunting, fishing, or trapping, and definitely get a bear management e-stamp. Also be aware, if you're going to hunt big game, you are exempt from this, but you still must get a license exempt big game harvest report card if you're hunting deer, wild turkey, or bear. Now, if you're under the age of 16, you do not have to get a license, but you must be accompanied by an adult if you're going hunting. If you go hunting alone and without an adult, if you're 16 or younger, you must complete the certificate of competency. Then you can go hunting by yourself. Even though you may be exempt from getting a license if you're 16 years or younger, that does not mean you cannot still big game hunt without getting your big harvest report card if you're hunting deer, turkey, or bear. And don't forget your big bear management e-stamp also. If you're under the age of 16, you don't need to get a trapping license at all. If you're under the age of 16, you don't need a fishing license either. Now, you don't need a fishing license if you're going to fish in game land fishing waters or any area that's a wildlife conservation area. If you're going to fish on the 4th of July, it's free for the day, so you can fish anytime on 4th of July for free.
Happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Anybody who was in the military and you received an honorable discharge, you are exempt from getting a Mountain Heritage Trout license. Residents with a valid unified subsistence inland and coastal fishing recreational license are exempt from getting an inland license if they're fishing. But this does not include trout fishing or coastal fishing. Now, if you're fishing and you're a non-resident, we do have a reciprocal agreement with Georgia, Virginia, and Tennessee, but not with South Carolina. And it goes into a lot of details. And again, I would definitely recommend you just go to the website, and it'll be the link below, and it'll be right here in front of you again. So definitely check out the website and just to find out more information about that. Now, you heard me mention earlier, big game harvest report card. And you're probably asking, what is that? And what that is basically, it's a report card that is required if you're hunting deer, wild turkey, or bear. And hunters are required to immediately validate any kill on a punch card. As a hunter, you must report this before the following occurs. If you're going to skin or dismember the kill is left unattended by a successful hunter, or the kill is placed in the possession of another 12, you must report the kill before you can do all these three things. Now, if you are going to game bird hunt, you're going to need a HIP certification, and that stands for Harvest Information Program. And game birds are dove, rails, woodcock, snipe, and a waterfowl in this state of North Carolina. If you are hunting duck in North Carolina, you must get a federal duck certificate. And you would obtain this from the Wildlife Commission, and the number is right here on the screen in front of you. It'll also be in the show notes in the description below, so definitely check out the description below, but it's right here in front of you also. Now, the stamp could take up to 45 days to get from the date of order, so be aware of that. If you're going to go duck hunting, you definitely, and it's not duck season yet, you definitely want to get the stamp at least a good, you will need to get at least a good 45 days or more before you go duck hunting. Now the duck stamp is $27 and also a $2 transaction fee. And another great thing about this duck stamp, it allows you into wildlife refuge for free. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with some of these laws? You don't agree with some of these laws? Do you think we should add some, take some away? Please let me know in the comments below. Love to hear what you think. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please check out these other videos right here. Up top here is one about carry concealed weapons in North Carolina. And the one here at the bottom is one that YouTube thinks you may enjoy. See you guys in the next video. Have a great day.